Exist without it.
Well, thank you, Quantum.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, let's move on to Derek Evans. Hi, Dr. Tyson, Lord Nice. Derek here from South Windsor, Connecticut. My question is about the shape of galaxies. As we know, they take many forms outside the stereotypical spiral shape. But what ultimately dictates a galaxy's shape? Do they all rotate? And if so, does shape indicate age or developmental stage?
That sounds very psychotherapy. What is your developmental stage? Are you lagging behind?
I'm a little stunted. You know what I mean? All the other galaxies seem to have it together, man. I'm just really confused all the time, and I'm so angry all the time too. I don't know if it's because I'm a spiral galaxy or a sombrero galaxy, or I honestly don't know what my identity is.
This galaxy named the Sombrero Galaxy. It's not a kind of galaxy, it's the name of a galaxy.
Oh, is that the name? But
it looks like a sombrero. Yeah.
And it looked, well, okay. There you go.
Okay, so if you start out with a gas cloud,
right,
huge gas cloud,
right,
if it's, depending on how fast it's rotating, if it's hardly rotating at all and it collapses, it doesn't flatten. It stays kind of three-dimensionally
globular.
We call them elliptical galaxies.
Oh, really?
They're spherical elliptical shapes.
Okay.
And they rotate very slowly.
Okay.
All right. If you have more rotation than that, you will flatten as you collapse. And you become very flat, flatter than a flapjack. You become as flat as a crepe. Almost as flat as a tortilla. And so our galaxy, the Milky Way, when seen edge on, would almost disappear from your sight line for that reason. And what happens is a galaxy gets stars from its gas clouds. And in this elliptical galaxies, for reasons not fully understood, or were not fully understood the last I looked at this problem, that's the safe way to say that, elliptical galaxies were very efficient making stars. So they used up all their gas and made all their stars, and there's no gas left. So when you don't have gas, you're not doing what?
I'm gonna say ruining the dinner because you're rude at the table.
Yeah, yes. These are different gases, Chuck. Not hydrogen sulfide. So elliptical galaxies are mostly gas-free. They made all their stars early on, and the stars are just aging right now. Whereas spiral galaxies, they retain 10%, 20%, sometimes 30% of their mass in gas.
Wow.
So there's still stars being formed. So when you see those beautiful photos from JWST and Hubble, with these gas clouds and stuff, when you probe those gas clouds, it's where stars are born.
Stellar nurseries?
Yes, stellar nurseries. So these are the differences among the galaxies. Spiral galaxies are inefficient, converting their gas into stars. Elliptical galaxies are very efficient. And so there you have it now. There are galaxies that are very disturbed looking.
Those are the galaxies that are like, you come near me, I'll kill you.
Yeah,
you think you're going to collide? You think you're going to collide with me? I will kill you. Try to collide with me and see what happens.
This is the belligerent category of galaxies. It's reminding, because it reminds you just bullies. You don't even know the bully. You step on their toe. You do that again, I'll kill you.
Exactly. It's like, bro, get in therapy. What is your problem?
Galactic therapy. So in my lifetime, there was a catalog of galaxies that was published by a Caltech astrophysicist named Holton Arp, nicknamed Chip Arp. And it was called the Arp Atlas of Peculiar Galaxies. He went around all the sky, the night sky. He cataloged galaxies that were just weird looking, disturbed looking, distorted looking. And we didn't have the answer to the question, did galaxies become this? or were they born this way? The way, what's her name was? Lady Gaga.
That's the Gaga galaxy.
Were they born this way, or did something happen to them? It was not until we were able to bring computing power to this problem in the late 60s, but mostly in the 1970s, where we can say, what happens to two grand design spiral galaxies if they collide? Oh my gosh, it's a train wreck. Stars don't actually collide with each other, but they feel each other's gravity. And the gravity casts stars hither and yon. And it looks like a train wreck. So if you stop action, the footage of galaxies colliding, here they are coming near each other, here they are partly overlapping, here they are deeply overlapping, and you do this. Then you have a template handed to you by your computer of colliding galaxies in all stages that they could collide. Now you hold that to Chip Arp's catalog, and you can explain 90% of those galaxies. I had a mentor once who said a crashed Lexus is not a different kind of Lexus. It's still a Lexus. Why he chose Lexus, I don't know, but that was his car brand that he used. So, and there are also galaxies that are just irregular in shape for no good reason. You know what we call those?
I'm gonna go with irregular galaxy.
Chuck, you're such a fast study here. So we have spiral galaxies, elliptical galaxies, irregular galaxies. They look kind of like puppy vomit, on the ground. It's just, they tend to be gaseous, which means they can make stars. And then there are galaxies that are just generally small, a catch basin of galaxies, and we call them dwarf galaxies.
Oh, of course.
Irregular galaxies are dwarf galaxies. You can also have small elliptical galaxies. We call those dwarf galaxies as well.
You can see them going off to work singing hi-ho, hi-ho.
I wrote an essay, one of my early writing forays, where I was paid. I think I got paid $300 for this essay for a newsletter, and it's called The Galaxy and the Seven Dwarfs. That's what it was called. And because our galaxy has, at the time, 7 known dwarf galaxies that orbit us. Typically, a dwarf galaxy is a member of some other association of galaxies. So there you have it. That's more galaxy evolution than maybe you bargained for, but that's how it goes. And Chuck, those are the basic categories of galaxies, but there are also galaxies that just do weird things that might be hybrids of these others that I just listed for you. There are quasars and blazars and lenticular galaxies and radio galaxies that give mostly radio waves. So there are variants on this, but what I described to you are 95% of all the galaxies in the universe.
Okay. Well, very cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Nirav. Let's move on to Melinda Washington. She says, hello from North Carolina. As a new autodidact, I'm excited to explore astrophysics in a focused and structured way instead of jumping between topics. How would you recommend breaking the subject into manageable pieces? What materials would you suggest? And in what order should I approach them to build a strong foundation? Thank you both for always sparking my curiosity and inspiring me to keep learning. Always looking up, Melinda Washington.
Ooh, love it. So at the risk of sounding self-serving, I co-authored a textbook with 2 colleagues at Princeton University when we co-taught a class. One of us taught stars and planets, the other taught galaxies, and the third taught cosmology. And the class started out with 30 people, and over the years it had like hundreds and hundreds. This was at Princeton University. And so we said, why don't we turn this into a textbook? And we did. And the textbook is highly readable. It's not like, learn this for the problem set and the syllabus. And so the book is called Welcome to the Universe. And if you get it through the museum's website, the museum shop, I think it's shop.amnh.org. I think they sell it there. If you get it, it's pre-signed by me. I pre-signed the books that they sell with my fancy, overpriced purple ink, bottle-filled fountain pen. If you don't want to jump into a textbook, there's a tiny version of it that is the Cliff Notes version of it is called A Brief Welcome to the Universe. So what you might do is start with that. That'll whet your appetite, and then you graduate to the full-up textbook. And it's 400 pages. There's a full-up textbook, but it's very readable. You can sit on the couch and get lost. It's a page turner.
Yeah, I have one in my bathroom, Melinda.
So that's what I recommend, and it's very sequenced and very pedagogical, I should say.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's excellent.
And don't read my best-selling book, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
Astrophysics for People in a Hurry?
Because clearly you're not in a hurry, A. B, what's in that book is me going through an entire curriculum and cherry-picking the coolest, most mind-blowing things and putting it into one volume. So I skip over stuff that you don't even know would have been there, but in a full-up curriculum in a college course, it belongs there. But if I just want to whet people's appetite, that's what I did. Cherry-picking the coolest things in the universe for that book.
Very nice. Yeah, I was talking to, I was on a show yesterday and doing an interview, and the host read Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, and they said, I don't care how much I'm not in a hurry, I still didn't get what he was talking about.
So, by the way, Astrophysics for People is not astrophysics for dummies.
Yeah.
Just to make it, it's real astrophysics.
It's real astrophysics
for its interest level. And so, yeah, don't think it's a lesser.
Yeah, don't think you're going to get in there and it's not going to be like, this is a galaxy. See galaxy spin. Spin, galaxy spin. It ain't doing that, okay?
Space fact. If Earth rotated once in 90 minutes rather than in 24 hours, the centrifugal force of that rotation would render everyone on the equator weightless.
All right, this is Christy Jiangu or Jianju. She says, "Hi, Dr. Tyson and Lord Nice. This is Christy from Romania, writing to you from Italy."
Where do we get all these international people? Wow,
I love it.
Man. Okay.
She says, "It is possible that dark matter is actually normal matter hidden in the guts of the space-time fabric." I think she meant, is it possible? Because it actually says it is, but is it possible? I'll read it that way. Is it possible that dark matter is actually normal matter hidden in the guts of the space-time fabric? Imagine that on a space-time fabric, there are vast regions so deformed like crumpled paper ball that it is impossible to see directly the matter inside those regions. Will that explain why we can't see or feel it, but we can feel the gravitational effect? It's possible to verify this measure the time that light takes to travel through those regions of crumpled, deformed fabric, since it has no cover or larger distance than what we actually see with our telescopes. Thank you. Keep looking up.
Another horrible
Wow.
move.
I don't know that space-time can hide things.
I'm gonna set
That'd be kind of diabolical to science. That space-time is hiding crucial information from the court.
Yeah.
So.
Tricked ya!
However, I've imagined multiple times that maybe dark matter, which expresses gravity in our own space-time, maybe dark matter is ordinary matter, in a parallel universe. That's similar in an idea to you're tucking it away within folds of the space-time continuum. If it's from another universe, then it's ordinary gravity leaking into ours, forcing us to say, oh, what is this mysterious substance? We can't see it, taste it, but it's real in another dimension. And I look forward to knowing whether or not that's true, because it would be kind of cool if it was.
I would love it, because to me, that that postulate says that now we gotta go ahead and start, investigating other universes.
Yeah, except I don't want to be the first to visit them. The laws of physics are slightly different. You could just collapse into a pile of glue on the sidewalk.
Securing over 10 million
be careful.
Well, we'll send an advanced team.
Down marijuana farms. Fighting
Send a gerbil through, or
Yeah, exactly.
Winthrop Area Federal Credit Union
All right.
is now
This is
serving
Stephen Schultz, who
Androscoggin,
says,
Franklin,
hello, Star
Lincoln,
Talk family. Stephen
Saginaw,
Schultz from Dayton,
Somerset,
Ohio.
Waldo,
Thank
and
you
Kennebec
all
County.
for taking the
We are
time
committed
to
to the
read
credit
my
union
question.
philosophy of people helping
I've recently
people.
read
As
that
a
the
member-owned
ISS
financial
is
cooperative
scheduled
and
to
an
make
equal
its
housing lender,
fall
we
back
are
to
here to help
Earth
you
in
with all your
2030 or
financial
31.
needs. Apply
Will
for
this
a
be
loan
something
now
you
and
guys
get a
plan on
$300
watching in
gift
person?
card,
Will
as
it
well
be
as rates
possible
as
to
low
see
as
it from an island in the
4.5%.
Pacific?
You can even apply
Assuming
online
that's
at
where it will land.
winthropcreditunion.org.
Thank you guys for
Winthrop Area
all
Federal
of the
Credit Union,
amazing
member NCUA.
content. So, is it going to deorbit in 2030?
I trust
Yes.
and
Well,
recommend for
I think they'll probably
myself,
keep it up there. When you threaten to defund something, people come out of the woodwork and say, "No, don't do that. Keep it going."
And by the way, what a great way to get funding. Well, you can cut off this money, but when this thing fall out the sky, you're on your own.
Yeah. I mean, so the Pacific Ocean is the great space toilet bowl on Earth, because the Pacific Ocean spans a third of all of Earth's longitude. It's huge, so that you can drop something out of the sky without much precision, and you'll still hit the Pacific Ocean.
Look at that.
Can you watch it? Yeah, go take a rowboat out to the middle of the Pacific Ocean when this happens, and there's no guarantee it will fall just over your head compared with other places. Your horizon in a rowboat might be 15 miles away, but at re-entering spacecraft, that horizon would be small compared to all the places it could land above your head. So yeah, in principle, you could see it. Maybe we'd have drones out there filming it, but most of the space station will burn up in the atmosphere. Most of it. We expect that.
And by the way, I'm not trying to go look at that, because with my luck, it will fall on me. So, I ain't trying. Yeah. I like the idea of a drone filming it, though.
Keep in mind that the space station was built beginning in the early 1990s. So how many years ago? That's 30 years. If you visited someone's home and they had a television from the early 1990s, they would be the object of mockery to you.
They'd also not be watching TV. Because you can't get anything on the TV from the early 90s.
Right now is the nuclear bombs that wants to use.
So
again,
technology
I
has
remember once
advanced
Carol
since then.
Wilkerson told me
And if you sent up a
he's not
space station
afraid of
today,
Russia
it would
using
probably
the
look
nuclear
different or
weapons.
be much more modern
It was
than
all about
whatever
before this
we
war in
have got
in
going
West
up there
Asia
now.
started.
So China plans to also have like a
Said that
competing
he
space
always
station to our own. And that's why
he's
people
afraid
are a
of the
little
United
spooked in
States.
Congress that they would have the
Use
new
that
high ground
nuclear
relative to what we have enjoyed
And
over the
this
decades.
And here
So,
we
the
are
real
in a new
issue
war
here,
in the West
Stephen,
Asia. It's not
is
more about
to
war in Ukraine
get
because
more
Donald Trump said
funding
that war
for
doesn't
NASA and space
impact the
research,
United States.
because
And so we're
let them
not
know
gonna
that
be that
we're going to
much
lose to
involved in the
China,
war in Ukraine, but he
and
started a new
quite
war
frankly,
in West Asia. As you know,
they
what
will
has
have the
happened
upper
so
hand
far.
militarily.
He tried
Yeah,
and
that's all it takes.
That's
They'll
all it
like
takes.
blame, and then everybody will just run with it.
And
Yeah.
There you
he
go.
started
This
attacking
is
Iran
Stephen
through surprise
Skilton.
attacks on Iran.
And Stephen Skilton
And
says,
After
do we know the actual
after
odds for
the
someone,
attacks,
anyone,
he
to be
continued
hit by a
the
small
war.
meteorite,
The
excluding
moment
large
that everybody's
extinction level
talking
events?
about
I find it
that the
amazing
United
that
States
only
is
one
running short
person,
of
Ann Hodges, has been
offensive
recorded
and
being struck
defensive
by
missiles.
and
This is the
no one
situation that the United
else
States is in as a
in at least
superpower.
1,000
What
years
else
of
do they have
history
to use?
has been
What
recorded
else
as
does Donald
being
Trump have
killed. With
to
8 billion
use?
people on
It's
Earth,
nuclear bomb.
would you need to
Obvious
see
that they're gonna talk
odds
about
on the
it.
magnitude
How-
of something
but
like
the question
1
is,
trillion to
Is that gonna
1
change? Is that gonna
to help
change
explain the lack
outcome,
of recorded
of the war?
strikes?
Okay, so if we didn't have an
when
atmosphere,
we use nuclear bombs? This is so.
you'd be
I
dead.
think
You'd be
it's devastating.
I
So
would need
dangerous
time to
use
do a
nuclear
proper
bombs.
calculation
No one
on this.
would think of
It's
it.
the population of the
Use
Earth,
it
how much space we take up,
as
what
an
the surface area is,
offensive
the
weapon.
fact that people aren't spread evenly
Because
around the world,
the
that
first
not all
time
the
and
meteors
only
that strike
time
Earth
that
make
these
it
nukes
to
were
Earth's
used,
surface,
it
that
was
they
by
burn
the
up.
United States and
I'm going to do a proper calculation and
Japan
report
in
back.
response to what has happened.
But
You know,
here's
Japan
something I
was
can
attacking
tell you.
them. Then in response,
I was almost
that
hit by a
they
meteor.
knew.
Did I tell you about this?
Of you of all people, if you got hit by a meteor, everybody would say, see, there is a God.
The situation is so desperate. The problem of Donald Trump is that Iran
So,
The universe killed the universe guy.
Is it possible for him to negotiate?
Well, what God are you talking about, right?
If he's talking
Right.
about the nuclear
So,
bombs,
Right.
I was
means
on.
that
I think I've told this story before.
he doesn't
Back
want
in
to back down.
1999,
He wants to escalate.
I was on the Brooklyn
But the
Bridge
escalation with
in the middle of the night,
conventional
maybe
weapons,
1 in the morning,
with the conventional weapons
November.
is not that.
for the Leonid
No,
meteor
it's
shower,
not-
which was on its
it's not gonna resolve the problem
33-year
he's in right
cycle.
The other
where
question is,
you
let's assume
expect
Donald
not a
Trump
meteor shower, but a
uses these
meteor
nuclear
storm.
weapons. How is that going to
Comets
influence
leave
the
debris
capabilities of Iran?
that make meteor showers. And that debris
Let's go-
orbits
let's
the
go.
Earth in front of it behind the comet.
100% logical.
And
The
Earth
emotions
plows through
aside,
that at the same
talk
time
about
each year.
battlefield.
That's why meteor showers
Assume
repeat
Donald Trump using
annually.
those nuclear
All right.
weapons. We
This
know
meteor shower is associated
that
with a comet has a
nuclear
33-year orbital
weapons
period
are not that
around the
much
sun.
capable of
And
penetrating.
if you're near where the comet had just passed the sun, or just come in front of the
What
sun,
does that mean?
you
It means
get
that if they use them,
extra
are they going to hit? Are they going to
meteorite
get
flux
something with
coming in.
those
Because all the
underground
crap that
cities?
falls off
Are
a
they
comet
gonna be
is
able to
closer to where the actual
neutralize,
comet is
destroy
than
those
scattered completely
underground
in its
cities
orbit.
of missiles?
And all this debris continues
not
to orbit the sun. All right,
one or two
I'm on the
or
Brooklyn
10
Bridge
or
with my
20.
3-year-old daughter,
There's
3.5-year-old daughter. I
many of
woke her up
these
for this.
Underground
Okay.
cities. All
We're
around
there,
Iran.
and I'm watching.
Iran
We're
is
getting a
huge
meteor every 90
It
seconds.
means that they're going to have at
Not
least
quite
70
storm level, but
underground
definitely
cities,
satisfying.
in my opinion.
Okay.
I thought when this war
Then,
started, I thought it's
I'm
going to be
looking
something
up,
like
And I see
30
a star in
or
the sky.
35 or
Just appear.
maybe 50.
Then it got brighter
Today,
and
I
brighter.
really believe that
I said,
more than
"That's
that,
odd."
much more than those number, that number.
wonder
that they
what
thought
that
it was
is.
in the beginning of this war.
And then it disappeared.
So there are two
Get a puff of
important
smoke.
factors when it comes to.
I said,
Iran.
oh my God! This
Is
was
Iran
a
capable
meteor
of producing
headed straight
nuclear
for me.
bombs?
But in the instant
know-
I saw it,
we know
I'm
based
thinking,
on the
gee,
facts,
I wonder what
we
this
know
is.
that
I was
Iran
just being
had
a curious
the
scientist
capability to
until I put
produce
2 and 2
nuclear
together, and then I
The
realized
last
the
15,
day you die from a
16
meteor
years,
strike is the day you are
they
staring
have
up
the
at a
capability,
light
but they
that
have
gets
decided
brighter
not
and brighter.
to produce them.
And
The other
that'll be
point
the
is-
last thing you saw.
It means that they know how to
in your
produce
life.
those weapons.
So
It's not something
I
difficult.
almost hit. I think it would have hit me
And
because
it
I
doesn't
saw
take
no
too much
streak
for them
left,
to
right, or
produce.
sideways,
They're
and
talking about 400 and 400.
then it just simply disappeared.
30
I was
or something
protected
like
by
that.
Earth's
Iran
atmosphere.
has enriched uranium.
Thank you,
This
pollution.
is the official number
What?
that we know.
It's not pollution.
We
No,
know
the
that
atmosphere
it's-
protects you without the pollution.
The market, the nuclear,
Oh, okay, that's true.
We're
the
good.
enriched
We're
uranium
good.
market.
I checked. We only have time for one more. One more.
This is some
What
sort
you
of
got?
mess.
All right, here's the last question.
Chaos.
It's
Nobody knows
Vale Stein.
who's gonna
Dear
get the
Dr. Tyson
nuclear
and Lord Nice, my
enriched
name is
uranium,
Vale,
who's
and I'm
selling
from
that, who's
and-
buying
oh, wait.
that, who's-
My name is Vale,
There is a
and
lot
I'm a
going on in
7-year-old
that market.
math and science kid from
For such a
Philly.
long time.
What up?
7-year-old
The other point
math and
is-
science kid. Okay.
The range,
Wow.
the range
He
of
says,
Iranian
do black
missiles.
holes absorb dark
They
matter
have
through
decided
the event
by
horizon?
design,
And if
by-
so,
because
would
they
the
didn't
black
want to
hole's
send any
charge,
sort of scientific
mass,
Europeans
and
other
spin
countries to be
change?
concerned about Iranian
Or can
missile
dark
program,
matter flow
ballistic
in and
missile
out of black
program.
holes
They said,
as
we're
it is
gonna
not
keep that.
electromagnetic and only
will
has
be
some of the
The
properties
limitation for that
that
program
matter
was
does?
something
All
like
right, first of all, let me
2,000
just say this. If you are from Philly, you
During the
damn
war
sure
with
ain't going to
them,
Philadelphia
from
public
multiple
schools.
sources that Iran has the capability to hit the American
A
base in
7-year-old
Australia.
asking that question is
That
not happening in a Philly
is
public
Australian
school.
American base is something from Iran to
Damn, Chuck.
Pine Gap is the distance is
No, I can't.
That's my hometown.
Right, because you're from Philly, so
So
you
the
have.
distance
You
between
have
That's
Iran
right.
and
I
Washington
can make that joke.
is less than
I
that.
can make that joke.
Something like
All right.
10,000
Anyway.
kilometers.
All right, so it turns out the
And they
only
said
property
they are capable
that dark
of
matter
Pine
has
Gap
that
in
we can
Australia.
interact with is gravity.
It means that they
It
can
doesn't
reach
have
Washington
electromagnetic coupling with any of our
And the
particles. That would mean, does it have
the nuclear weapons and
electromagnetic
Iranian-
forces
the range
which
of
are
Iranian
required to make
missiles?
molecules and,
It's gonna
and,
be there.
and,
Nobody's
and hold
talking about
atoms
it.
together?
No official talks. None of these officials
it has
Iran
gravity.
has ever
And if it
talked
has
about
gravity, we
that
are
were
left with
mentioned.
no
But
with
they
no
always said during the war
skepticism
they have
over
their
whether
surprises.
a black hole would
They
just
have their
happily,
surprises.
just as
What
happily
does that mean?
absorb dark matter as
I
it does
assume
regular matter.
that
And the matter would not be
they
able to
have
come out
the
any more than
capabilities.
regular
They
matter
are-
could.
They have
because
studied
it's
each and
responding
every
to gravitational
scenario of this
forces.
war. They
So
knew since
you
they
can bet that a black
warned
hole
of this
sucked in
attack
all the dark
in Iran.
matter
They
that was
knew that
just
these
in
are-
its area. All right, but if you're at a safe distance from a black hole, it's
Or
not a giant sucking machine all of a sudden. It'll pull in anything that was
United States and
close.
Israel both they have nuclear
But
bombs.
if
They
the
can
sun
use
became a black hole,
those
for example, we
nuclear
would
bombs
still
against
orbit it.
Iran.
It would get very
But
cold
what has
very
happened
quickly,
so far
but we would still
during the
orbit. We're
conventional
not
war,
so
Iran
close that we would
somehow
get sucked in.
Diminish
And so,
the United States
there's an old saying,
power.
there's no
when
such
it
thing
comes
as
to
gravity.
Conventional
Earth just
weapons.
sucks.
It means that
So-
let's assume they
Oh,
use
wow.
nuclear bombs against Iran. This is the rest.
So, yes, excellent question. Wondering
If
whether
Iran
dark
decides
matter
to
would have different properties
Israel.
in the vicinity of a black
We're
hole.
gonna
And
level
everything we
Israel.
know and understand
There would
about
be
it tells
nothing
us
left
that
of
it
Israel.
wouldn't. There it is.
And
Now go back to your
is
basement and
that
you're working on a
question
super
for
weapon
Trump
to destroy the superheroes.
Are they gonna risk that?
Exactly.
We know the
Way to
capabilities
go,
of
Vale. Nice,
air defense
nice,
systems
nice work.
of
Nice
the United
work.
States
But
because
that's all the
it
time
was
we have for it. So
it
always
was
good to have you there for these
tested to-
grab bags, John.
Always a
during
pleasure.
this war.
Always
All
a
right,
pleasure.
this
You know, the
has
FAT,
been Star
the
Talk
FAT
Cosmic
system,
Queries. And another
Patriot
grab bag
system,
edition,
Pac 2,
which are
Pac
always
3,
on
all
our
these
features.
air defense
I am Neil
systems
deGrasse
were
Tyson,
used
your
during the
personal
war, and they're
astrophysicist. As always,
capable of defending
you
Israel.
keep looking up.
Israel, the fact is that Israel is naked today. And any attack on Israel, they're gonna hit the target, and Israel hit the target. And the only hope I have for the escalation that maybe they're not gonna escalate is the vulnerability of Israel. Because Israel is not capable of defending itself. The Patriot system is not working. The FAT system has its own limitations. It's a kinetic sort of missile. It has to hit the warhead of the missile that is coming to hit the target. It's difficult to intercept by the use of the FAT system. So
If I were to talk to someone
Is the
who's
United
looking to
States going
implement
to use
NetSuite,
nuclear
I would
weapons?
say you would never regret it. It
Are
truly
they
has
gonna risk?
revolutionized our business.
Or
It's
do
changed
they
how we
really want
think.
to put an
It's
end to
changed how we
Israel?
build processes, and I ultimately
I
think it's the
assume
best
that
decision we've ever done for
Israel
our
will
operations.
cease to exist. It would be there would be no Israel if they use that. And the repercussions of that attack on Iran, in my opinion, would be global. And all of these countries gonna go mad all around the world. Nobody would believe in anything the United States would say in the aftermath of that attack. Everybody would try to build nukes. We're gonna get back to the law of the jungle. This is hugely dangerous if the United States, the Trump administration decides to do that. I really believe that Donald Trump, even the madness that we've seen so far with the Trump administration, is not going to go that far. But it doesn't mean that he's not going to do that. So the whole case of this war, since day one of this war, is just madness, pure madness. He started the war believing that he can remove the today just 30 minutes ago he said that Venezuela was beautiful. In 49 minutes we just resolved everything, and we are in the process to do the same in Iran. Just moments ago he said that. How is that gonna, is he bluffing? No, he's not. I think he can go mad, and that's the problem with the Trump administration. You just look at what has happened so far. They started the war, thought that they're gonna destroy Iran, they're gonna force the Iranian government, they're gonna kill the leadership in Iran, everything gonna collapse. Nothing has happened so far. And it doesn't matter if they attack Iran, let's assume they're gonna use nukes on Iran. And Iran gonna respond. How is that gonna be possible? How is that gonna change the reality of the war so far? Is that going to change the reality in the Strait of Hormuz? That's not going to bring any sort of change for the United States. They have a lot of problems right now. That's why when you hear these sort of news from Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I really believe that she's 100% honest in the way that she posted this, she informed each and every, because she wanted to inform the people around the world what is happening in Washington and how the things are getting so mad. And this is the reality of the Trump administration. Again, going with the worst case scenario, the United States attacking Iran, Israel gonna get hit by Iranian missiles. And from what I've seen, I've heard so far, I don't see that much of fear in Iranian commanders, Iranian leadership. Whatever that is, they're so much confident in the way that they're dealing with Donald Trump. Because multiple times, I don't know if you saw the latest interview of one of the main advisors of the head of IRGC. He was asked if the United States uses nuclear weapons against Iran, what would be the response? You see no fear in the eyes of this guy. They don't have, I think they have
County Sheriff's Office emergency line from a home in Genoa, Wisconsin, reporting that she feared something was seriously wrong with her father and requested a welfare check. The woman told dispatch that the
capabilities of
that
Iran
never sat right with him as he became paranoid after its use. He had even been hospitalized for 2022. She explained that he had a long history of amphetamine use that never sat right with him as he became paranoid after its use. He had even been hospitalized.
Israel is two cities.
In December 2022, she explained that he had a long history of amphetamine use that never sat right with him as he became paranoid after its use. He had even been hospitalized in California years earlier. He had a long history of amphetamine use that never sat right with him as he became paranoid after its use. He had even been hospitalized in California years earlier because of his addiction. But according to her, the treatment never helped, and he had since been going crazy.
I do know, I think one of our deputies was in contact with him a couple days ago, but as far as I know, we can have someone go down there.
As a deputy arrives at William's residence, he is already familiar with him, having previously arrested William for an OWI offense. He also learns that just 2 days before this call, one of the department's sergeants had been involved in a vehicle pursuit with William, who managed to escape. But what the deputy doesn't know is that today, William has no intention of cooperating.
This is going to be the end.
Hey, William. You can take them out. Hey, William, why don't you hold up for 1 second?
This would change.
Explain to me what's going on.
The
you guys step aside for a second while I talk to
They
them.
left support.
Thank you.
I want their ass out.
Nothing
They
gonna get
my
done.
house up. They have up
As
all
it
my
was,
tractors, my
you know,
vehicles, everything.
the Strait
I want
of
them out of
Hormuz
here.
Who's they?
was
Just those two?
always
Up there.
Hey, William, where you going?
Iranian territory.
Go try and find a hat and some
Omani
underwear that I could wear that they stole all my clothes.
Are you grabbing it out of this truck up?
Strait of Hormuz. Really, reason that they're dominating
of
the
mortgage
Strait of
fraud for
Hormuz and
falsifying
they're controlling the
documents.
Strait of
Jackson
Hormuz
billed
because
taxpayers for
American
massive
and
travel
Israeli
expenses.
attack on
And Jackson was
Iranian
known
people.
for bullying women. Troy Jackson, falsifying
Are they
documents,
gonna
ripping
get
off
back to what it
taxpayers,
was
and a
before the
bully
war
we
started?
can't trust.
Nothing gonna get back. Everything has changed. In
This
Ukraine,
car
the
isn't
war
until
is changing everything.
because
We're
the
not going
greatest
to be
pleasure of
able
an
to get
automobile
back. Just
is how it
imagine what
makes
has
you
happened in
feel.
Ukraine. Minsk 1 and Minsk 2, 2014 and 2015. It was all
Truck up
about
here?
making peace.
Alright, well I'm just gonna
inside
come. Is that okay if I walk with you?
ethnic Russians in the eastern part of Ukraine and Ukrainian government.
Well, I don't need to look through anything.
Basically supported the western part of
What do you want to go to the truck for if you're not going to check it?
Oh, I just want to make sure you're not
Russia
going
tried
anywhere.
not to do anything
I got a driver's license.
before this war started in February
Insurance,
2022.
everything.
But William, with what I just walked up on, I want to know what's going on.
I want them to leave.
Force Russia out
Okay.
of Ukraine
Simple as that.
because the eastern part of
I'm not
Ukraine
doing
is
it.
part of Russia.
In my house sleeping.
They have to find the
I can't find my hat. Can't find my
everybody
underwear.
voted in
And they
that
sold everything.
area, and
The only
it's not
reason the
going to
grass
get back.
is
It's
because they did
done.
it with a damn push mower because
It's
they
in the
cut my
Constitution.
tractor.
Okay.
They
The
turned off
eastern
the
part of
electricity.
Ukraine is part
They
of
got
Russia
electricity
today.
because they switched it their
Nobody
name
can
and shut
change
mine
that
off.
reality.
I'm sick of all this.
And they
This
sold all
was
your
the
stuff, like your
easiest thing
underwear?
Yes, they
Russia
You're aware of
was-
it. Don't play secret. I'm done.
They did everything.
The daughter tells the deputy that she arrived at the property
December
only 10 minutes
2022,
earlier, and
they
people
sent
living
two
in a
letters
separate
to the
trailer
state
at Williams'
headquarters
property had left with their
and to
camper
Washington,
just before she
the
got
Biden
there. But
administration.
despite them being
We
gone,
are-
William insisted
we are
the neighbors
prepared
were
to
flying
negotiate,
drones over his
to
property
negotiate.
and
We want to
placing cameras
negotiate. We don't
inside
want
his
to start
home.
the war.
According to his daughter, William was
They have
exhibiting
to-
extreme
they have to
paranoia
respect
and needed to be
Minsk
committed
to
to
a
a
group.
hospital, as he also believed that even law enforcement was
And
part
later
of the
on,
group
yeah.
harassing him.
Angela Merkel, Germany, Council alone, voted and they said that the whole agreement of Minsk was a sham. They were preparing Ukraine to fight Russia, to stop Russia in Ukraine.
While speaking with the daughter, the deputy
not
learns
gonna
more
learn
about
from
William
these
and the events that led to his
You're not
deteriorating
gonna
mental health.
be able- you're
William
not
lived
gonna be
alone
able
on
to
disability
force Russia out
benefits,
of
but his life
Ukraine
had not
because it's
always been this
eastern
way.
part of
In
it.
2003,
Right now
his
it's called
father
Russia.
suffered fatal injuries after attempting to start a fire using
The Strait of
accelerants
Hormuz
in
is
a
the
wood-burning
same.
stove
They're not
inside
gonna
the
get
house.
back
William
what it
managed to
was
put out the
before
initial fire,
February
but his
28th.
father died from his
Even
injuries
with the
2 weeks
first
later.
attack in
Nearly a
this-
decade
in
later,
June
tragedy struck
2025,
again. In
Israel
2012,
started
after
attacking
leaving the
Iran.
house following an argument
on
with his
June
mother
13th.
and going out drinking, William returned
You know
to
what
find the
didn't
home
close
engulfed
the
in
Strait of
flames
Hormuz?
once more. This
It
time,
was an
his mother
Israeli
died
attack
from
on the
smoke
shore.
inhalation. Her death changed him completely.
Despite the
According
United
to his
States
daughter,
using
William
all
blamed
their bases
himself
in the
for what had
region
happened.
supporting that
Soon
attack on
afterward,
Iran.
William, who had never
But Iran
previously
didn't
been
do
known to
anything.
use drugs,
Just sitting
began
back
using
and
methamphetamine
responding to
heavily,
Israel
and his mental
without
health
closing the
steadily
Strait of Hormuz.
deteriorated. But now,
Then,
as William
on
attempts to
February
leave the
28th,
property,
when the
the
United
deputy has
States
no idea
decided
that
to attack
simply
Iran
trying to
using
get him
all
to stop
those
and have a
bases
conversation
in GCC
will eventually
countries.
spiral completely
And
out of
together
control.
with Israel, then
For
they
right now,
decided to
you
close the
guys
Strait of
maybe
Hormuz.
take off. Because that's kind of what he's
Everybody
requesting,
in Iran.
and I'll try and talk to him. And
No one wants to let the United States get
I'm not
into the
entirely
region.
sure.
Ain't taking me up and I ain't going to jail.
They
Well, I have no
believe that the
intention
United
on arresting
States
you.
doesn't belong to the region. They have to be removed from the region. This is the reality of, this is the outcome of the war, of the Trump's war on Iran.
Get goddamn suspenders
Alright.
are f***ing off.
This is
I'm sick of
This is the
So, well,
disaster.
I told them
You know,
they're
this
gonna take off right now.
This is the
Can we maybe
disaster
have a
produced by
conversation,
Donald Trump
please, William?
himself.
Get out of my ass.
How
Well,
can
I-
he get back?
Can you
Is it
explain the
possible to
situation
get
to me?
back?
How
No.
you said they're
And the use of the nuclear
Bring
weapons
your
is the
hand
same,
and wand
in
and all
my
that
opinion.
shit.
It doesn't matter,
Come
you
and
know, how
my
far
ass.
you would go.
Me up.
It means that
Okay,
as you
now?
go
Yeah.
forward,
Sounds crazy,
it's
though.
not going to be,
I don't know the whole
you're not going to
situation,
be
that's
able
why
to
if
change
you could
it to
explain it
get
to
back
me.
to what it was
Yeah.
before. The use of nuclear weapons is far more devastating. The outcome of what would happen in the aftermath of that would be devastating for the United States. in my opinion.
What's going on?
And
You know it all.
I don't
William,
think
don't
that
know it all.
the establishment in the United
Then I can't
States
make a report.
gonna
because
go
you guys
that
won't open up
bad.
your door.
Maybe I'm optimistic about that.
Excuse me,
But
please,
the reason
officer.
that I'm saying this
You are
is because of
stopping me
Israel.
from going on my property,
Because
and I'm
of
not doing
Israel.
nothing wrong.
so I've got to
If
go.
they know that Israel doesn't have the air defense system,
William,
Israel doesn't
I
have
need
the
to talk to
capabilities,
you. I'm
and
asking.
Iran
Please
can
talk
hit
to me.
Israel.
Is there a
And
reason
they
you
don't
don't
have
want
that
to?
much experience. You remember when the war started, they had all these destroyers in the region together with,
As the deputy radios that
nuclear,
William is leaving a property,
together with
another deputy
aircraft
patrolling
carriers
nearby
in the
spots
region,
the truck almost immediately.
preparing to defend Israel. Even with all those weapons, they couldn't, not all just the weapons, they had all those radars, everything. But Iran has destroyed all of them. The reason that I'm saying that Israel is naked today, it means that each and every
Someone else
missile
pull them over. I'm going to take off up
that
there.
goes there, they're gonna hit the target. They're gonna hit the target and destroy the target. The same thing is happening in Ukraine
I
today.
was asked to stop you for a minute.
Ukraine has no capability to intercept
What's going on?
Russian missiles. There is no,
Going to check
even
off
those
there for me.
interceptors are in the best case scenario, which was mentioned by we have two experts. I have two experts on this podcast, Professor Ted Kosel and Andre Markel. Both
Can
of
you
them
please explain that to me?
basically saying
Hey, Willie, why don't you hand me the keys for right now?
air defense system don't work. Probably the best
I don't want
scenario
to
is
arrest you.
you have
The whole
all
thing
the
here.
interceptors, the air defenses together.
Experience
But it's not just about the
matters.
air defense, it's about the communication between the radars and those air defense systems. There is no communication there. That's why you see they're using AWACS and these airplanes in the region to gather information, to collect information on the targets, or maybe this is what's going on. I assume that Donald Trump, if he does that, it means that he's not there anymore. The guy doesn't exist anymore. Maybe some robot is doing something. I don't know how to understand that. The moment they use Israel, will cease to exist, in my opinion. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And